We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust human to raise a pack of wolves.
Before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you.
Still in my
Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Two Fools Agree. I'm your host, Michael Reggie, as always, like here that. With my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings. Clifford, how you doing tonight?
I am fantastic.
The first time around, it was fantabulous.
Yeah, I was fantabulous. Till you fucked it up.
See, the problem is that we've been drinking and talking. And honestly, we're 4 minutes late, but we've been here since 8:30. So, you know, maybe we should have just started the show early. But, you know, I'm usually a stickler for the time. But, God damn. Fucked up. I fucked up.
I'm having fun.
I'll take ownership. I fucked up.
No, I don't think it's fucking up. I think that we're right on our path.
I mean, honestly... What's the harm? There's no harm.
There's no harm because it's you know what I saw and this is
props to Donovan who was the one that gave us the heads up. And I heard he's a shower head.
Mr. Hindler, the shower head.
I heard he's a shower head.
Oh yeah, he's official.
He's official? We gotta send him a shirt then.
Yeah, that's you know it's funny you said that.
DM me.
Is the Foolproof Entertainment joint up there?
Yeah, hit us up on the email.
Donovan, send your address to the Foolproof Entertainment joint, and I'll send you a little package.
Yeah, send us something over at foolproofentertainment@gmail.com.
Don't send it anywhere else, Donovan. We don't need anybody else knowing your information. Please send it to the email.
And I'm the only one that has access, so I'll get it to Cliff.
Right. Right. But do that. But we appreciate you tuning in, Don.
Always.
My guy. Where we at? What we talking about?
I don't fucking know.
Listen.
This is the kind of show we got.
Well, today. Donovan, this is not the sports show. So if your mom is watching, put it on headphones.
Right. Put your headphones on. Right. SFW.
Yeah, do all that because we get egregious on this show.
This one's this one is I mean, not like you guys don't get egregious on Hit the Showers.
Right, these kids know shit. These kids do things.
If they have a
Donovan,
teen
you
at the end of the
shouldn't
day,
be though, because you have a goal in mind. So you stick to your goal in mind. I want to say that.
There you go. Amen.
But all the other kids, we know how egregious you would get.
And as a football coach, I support the message of get your shit together.
Listen, Donovan,
or keep your shit together, as the case may be. So, man, how's your week been? You been doing all right? You been doing all right?
You know what? I actually had a great week.
Did you?
I had a great week.
I figured something had to be a little different because we've been... Pre-show was a little different this week.
Right. Yeah, no, I had a great week this week, man.
Usually both of us are a little sleepy. I will tell you, I was a little sleepy this week. My son had a swim meet on Wednesday. Swimming? He's on a swim team.
His big ass better be buoyant.
Dude.
He better float.
He was only one of like 2 kids in his age group, at least on his team, that got asked to do the backstroke.
For real. That's
and then he was the only one that I think was in 3 different races.
Right.
So the kid can swim.
Right.
I mean, his problem was that he was tired by the time they got to the meet because it was an evening meet, and his mom had him out picking strawberries all day.
He's competitively doing it. Ooh,
well,
wow,
but this was just an inter squad meet. So when we get to a real meet, I'll let you know.
Oh man, you better.
I will.
Oh, you better.
I mean, it's just over at the Bexley pool, but it was a good time.
I don't care.
I ended up being a timekeeper, so we volunteered. I mean, Char volunteered us, and
you cheat for your son's time.
No. Well, and I actually didn't have him in my lane. Char did, but I didn't. Okay.
Char cheated for his time.
Actually, no. Did he? He might have moved lanes.
Char might have been harder on his time.
Right, no doubt. Well, I would have been. Like, you better touch that fucking wall.
Yeah, you didn't touch it. Disqualification. Y'all go on. He's going to do another lap after y'all finish.
Anyway, so he did that. And then had to be at practice by 8 the next morning, which means we had to be up by 7.
Oh, Lord.
And then that night, after that practice is when they left. They headed to Michigan. So my wife and my son out in Michigan.
Did they make it safe?
Yeah, they're all good.
Great.
And I've gotten nice videos, and I've talked to them a couple times.
Who they went in Michigan?
What's up?
Who they went in Michigan?
They went with my mother-in-law, and they're at basically an Airbnb.
Just going to,
yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, like, I needed the break, but on top of that, dude, I've been in meetings from like 7 a.m. until 6 o'clock the last 2 days.
I know how you work, G. You ain't gotta
anyways,
tell me.
Wrapped up meetings last night at 6:30, and then place where I coach, we had a camp from 7:30 to 10:30 last night.
I bet it was fun.
It was good, and honestly, we have had better numbers. We have had better numbers for these first 2 June practices than we have for our first days of 2-a-days in my entire time at this school.
That's a good sign.
It is a great sign. And honestly, I was feeling down about football and coaching and like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. And this, honestly, I am more re-energized and you and I have talked about this on the podcast before where like I put in the effort that the kids do. And so if kids are fucking around, like I go through the motions and I'm not going to lie about that.
Right.
But these kids are passionate. They want to go. They are. I think what has happened is we made it to the second round of the playoffs 3 years ago, and they've had 2 losing seasons since then. And this crew has seen what it means to win.
Right.
And so now that they're seniors, they're like, we are fucking doing this, and they seem to be entirely bought in.
Don't let them be soft,
etc. So I'm thrilled about it.
None of the coaches. Casey, no, I'm just
actually, it's funny you bring up our boy hard. Casey. He is actually resigned.
Why?
Because he got an assistant principal job, and I don't know if it's a Whitehall bylaw thing or if it is I think it's a bylaw thing
It
where if
seems
you're
like
a
that
principal,
fits
you
him more.
can't coach.
It seems like that fits him more.
Yeah, and honestly, I think his wife has been giving him shit about coaching for a couple. Like, he's got 3 fucking kids, dude. All of whom are under the age of like 7 or 8.
But they're all boys. Well,
2 boys and a
one,
girl.
Yeah, right. I know.
And so,
I keep
obviously,
track.
you keep touching
I keep
him.
track.
But
I
with
don't
all
keep
of
touch.
that,
We don't talk too much, but I keep track of the people that I know and
yeah,
care
and
about.
I mean, and obviously, after we figured out, like, hey, like, you know this dude I'm coaching with.
Listen, I'm Batman. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna let you know I'm watching, but if shit pops off, just know that I'm available if you need
something.
me. I got shower curtains in the trunk.
Anyways,
You got a little girl. I believe she's the youngest.
yes.
I got shower curtains in the trunk.
It was good last night though, because he actually came by towards the end of practice,
And I
it was
know,
good to see him.
you got family in the country that has places that nobody knows who digs at. It's all I'm saying.
This is all very true statements, very true.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So last night was out till 10:30 at practice. Came home for whatever reason. I crossed that barrier. You know when you cross that barrier of I'm tired to
Right.
I'm not gonna fucking sleep.
Right.
I hit that barrier. I crossed it. I didn't end up going to bed till like 12:30, and then I was on a 7:30 call for work. It was like a 7:30 to 11:30 meeting this morning, and so
Was it all
I will
important?
tell you,
Like, did you have to be focused?
it was
at all
it was
times?
stuff that. Luckily, it was not my direct responsibility, so it was stuff that I was there to kind of chime in, like, yeah, we
But you
talked
didn't
about
have to
this.
be
I
head
didn't
on the
have
block.
to. I didn't have to
Right.
lead it.
Right.
The afternoon turned into shit that I had to have some like serious conversations about. So I finally signed off of work about 5:30, and tried to pass out. I had to go stop by my mother-in-law's place, make sure a package that was on her porch made it inside. So that was over at Wilson,
Right.
and then I had
That's
to go
right down the
feed
street.
some animals in Char's classroom.
And
So I got home about 6:30 from all that.
What happened to the kids taking the animals home
On the
and
weekends,
learning-
I don't know what happened. But
learning
anyway, so we got to about 6:30, 6:45.
You a good
I went to pass out.
I'm
I
going
fell
to
asleep.
Your school? You want me to go to your...
I fell asleep
Yeah.
for 15 minutes before the goddamn dog woke me up. So I hit about 8 o'clock, and I am like, all right, I got to do something to keep myself awake. So I was starting to come down here. You got here about 8:15, 8:30, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we are. But, man, I was dying at that point. And I will let you know, you have revitalized me with our conversation so far
glad to
tonight.
hear
So I
that.
appreciate it.
I'm glad to hear that. I am glad to hear that. So if I'm just going to talk for a second,
Yeah,
to
go for
talk for a second, I heal like Wolverine, and I want everybody to know it.
Oh, so you all healed up from your...
Oh no, bones don't heal that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think Wolverine's adamantium did as well. I'm saying like cuts heal. I heal like daily.
See, my problem is that I bleed like nothing.
Oh no, I bleed like well, I drink a lot, so my blood's probably thinner than water. Let's be honest. Not a lot for anybody that's worried, but I'm a fool, and everybody knows that much. So I cut myself. Ask me how. I bet. Ask me how.
I mean, did you cut yourself shaving? How'd you cut yourself?
Shaving. Only time I'd ever cut myself shaving is on my genitalia.
Your genitals. And
Let's
that's
be
the
honest.
worst place to cut yourself shaving.
Man, listen.
That shit
Especially 'cause-
bleeds.
right, and especially because you cut yourself planning to use it, and then you're like,
My
fuck,
God.
I can't stick this in anything, or I'm gonna catch something, or I'm
it's just
gonna have to
sting.
use a condom. And that's even worse. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing for all my Donovans out there.
Listening.
Use condoms, especially y'all, man. Y'all got shit to live for. Don't knock nobody up too early, y'all. That's the realest shit
No
anybody
doubt.
can ever tell you. But what was you talking about? Yeah, help me out real quick.
You were talking about your Wolverine and healing.
Oh, yeah. So, I cut my hand.
Okay. Doing what?
I said yes.
You told me to ask you what.
Cliff
how.
story. Wow. What's the wildest thing that you could think?
What's the wildest thing, or what do I think is the most realistic?
Wild, realistic.
The most realistic is you bumped into something and broke the glass that you were using, whether it was a bottle or something else.
Nah, you wasn't quite wild enough
Not
for
wild
Cliff.
enough. You were cleaning your. I was about to say you were cleaning your gun and you just clipped your fucking pulling the top back.
That's close though, but
what you got?
I was flipping a hatchet. And I got too confident and
this black man in the hood is sitting there with the fucking hatchet just
on the couch flipping the hatchet.
What the fuck are you doing with a hatchet?
Oh, I got hatchets, I got machetes, I got all that.
I got a dagger upstairs that I want to show you later.
I want to see it. Listen, I'm just saying I'm war ready. But I got too confident and flipped it like not looking.
And you went to catch it and caught the blade.
Caught the blade.
Dummy.
And it didn't cut me like big, but it cut me very deep. Like it got down to the bone. Like it was bleeding like crazy. But you can see it like the cut itself isn't that big.
No.
But it was down there.
Jesus.
I thought I was gonna need stitches at first, but nah, it's just deep. And it doesn't really hurt like that either.
Okay. Well,
and it's
good.
Right on the crease.
It's right on the knuckle. It looks
that's why I thought it was gonna be bad, but nah, I don't even feel it.
Well, especially
that's why I said Wolverine. I just heal. I didn't even know I just heal shit.
See, I feel like I'm the opposite.
But I haven't beaten my meat with my left hand for.
You're ambidextrous now.
Right. Well, I've been Ambi. They call me Ambi.
Have you ever given yourself a stranger?
I call it a long lost friend.
Long lost friend. There you go.
But
oh shit.
Long lost friend's been visiting from high school.
Oh, no friends from high school, please.
And I did good too. I was good for like a week and a half, and then I said, "Lefty, it's about your time. It's about your turn, guy." Let's be honest. It might not have been a week and a half. Might have been like 3 to 5 days.
I mean, I ain't mad at you.
Better the fist than the fist, though. Is all I gotta say.
There you go. So you got any inadvertence to get us going this week, Mr. Jennings?
I have one that I don't know if I want to share.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first, and it's going to loosen me up a bit.
All right, so, and I think I don't know if we've talked about this specific instance. I know we've talked about deja vu before.
Of course.
So I had another moment.
As long as Presque.
Exactly. I had another, and this may be more Presque.
Okay.
Had a moment this week where I got a phone call from somebody who calls me, and this is work related.
Right.
He only calls me maybe once or twice a quarter, meaning like once or twice every 2 or 3 months.
Directly reports under you or over you?
No, he is a peer of my boss, so over me. And he called me about a very specific issue, and about halfway through the conversation, I'm like, I've had this exact conversation with him before. Literally the exact same conversation. And I had given the exact same response, and he asked the exact same question. And
did you have a reference point?
At the time, no.
Not just thinking off the top, but then when you thought about it, it was like, I answered that.
It was funny because he asked his first question and something triggered in my mind. And then the next question he asked, I had already predicted that was the question.
See, you're them, I'm still in us.
Yeah.
So I send emails where it's like, you ask me the same question, and I'll send you the email from March of 2020 and be like, didn't I tell you? Like, I'm not even going to respond.
The thing is, though,
I'm going to copy the timestamp in with the email and let you know I said this then.
And generally speaking, though, I'm with you on that front. The flip side is there's no way this conversation could have already happened. Because that's topic,
why you feel the deja.
Yes, exactly. The topic that was discussed was something that didn't exist until 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You know what's funny? And I don't, and I'm not stealing your conversation.
No, that's all. I mean, honestly, that's all I had. So
okay,
like,
I'm glad then, because that just means we work off.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's funny is that I've had a situation like that very recently.
Yeah.
And me, I'm more so connecting it to us than them.
Okay.
You know, I said you're a them and I'm an us. But I also feel like there's different people in the world. You know what I mean? And it may be our relationship with each other for so long that we would be us's and they would be thems.
Yeah.
But I have had a very similar situation go on at the very same time, and I feel like
it's because you and I are flipping between fucking realities at this point. We are in our multiverse. You and I are jumping between realities at this point, and maybe it's because we keep fucking up enough that like whatever the exterior force is, they're like, we got to keep putting him back.
Listen,
on course.
man. Now I can't speak for you, but for me, but for moi, but for myself, that's more accurate than any. Listen,
okay, so this goes back to, and you and I talked about it a little bit last week, like Loki, the Loki series. The whole point is by the way, it's the sacred timeline, which is what the timekeepers keep.
Right. Okay.
In terms of this is the timeline that is supposed to be happening. And when shit veers off of that timeline, they send in their police force to basically put the timeline back together. The way I look at it right now,
so they can never piece it back together how it should be.
True. And that's kind of the story.
Right.
So that's kind of where I feel like, and we've had the conversation about, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, where we talked about, dude remembers seeing the semi in front of him, remembers like, this is it, and then he closes his eyes for half a second, and the semi is driving by him, and he's like, everything was a little different. It was close enough, but a little different. I feel like that's what deja vu and this presque-vu situation is that you have seen it in one timeline, and because of some variance, you have ended up in a slightly different timeline where it happens later.
You know me personally. You know how many timelines may have restarted for me.
Right.
Because I can name 3, 4. There are definitely
multiple timelines where this doesn't happen.
Oh, I agree 100.
100%.
If I didn't get shot, this would have never happened.
Right.
If I didn't get shot, this would have never... If I didn't get shot, I would have gotten shot. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
If I didn't get shot, I would have gotten shot, and it would have been more serious than...
Yeah. It was either the end or...
Right.
Or enough to diverge the paths.
Right. And that's exactly... Listen, that's why I know... Okay. That's even more interesting. Right? Because the immediate thought that comes to mind is that's how I know that there's a higher power.
Yeah.
But then based on the conversation that we have, that doesn't necessarily, and I'm just speaking from our conversation, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a higher power so much as there's a written timeline. Right? It's almost like video game-ish, right? Like where you fucked up.
Well, it's the
restart,
whole. It's the Edge of Tomorrow shit where it's like you respawn,
but here's
right?
The question then. But here's the question then: does that mean that you're your own almighty?
I think it depends on what you believe fate to be.
That's funny because I think that
it
more so goes to what you think the afterlife would be.
Okay.
Because I don't think that you can build a heaven off of somebody else's imagination. You know what I mean? Whether that's the higher power or not, and they say, this is exactly what you would want, not going to be the same as what would come out of here.
But I don't know that it's always exactly what you would want.
Not necessarily, though. Oh, no, I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
I'm so fucking glad you said that. Because there is nothing. I even put a post up, and I don't know if you remember it. It was probably back in 2014. I said, God, thank you for so many things that I thought I wanted that you didn't give me. Because now I'm realizing I never wanted it.
Never really wanted it, yeah. I honestly think
and that goes with everything, though.
Yeah.
It goes with everything. It doesn't just. It's not. I'm not talking about women. I'm not talking about money opportunities. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about, in general, the path that I thought I was on for what I wanted, don't want.
I hear you.
And it goes with everything. It goes with music. Yeah. Like I was heavily into music. I wanted to do music, but then I thought about it, and it was like. Do you want to be that guy? Like, what? Do I want to be that guy? That front face guy that, everything he says, everything he does. I'm not that guy.
The Prince of the Clique is OE, baby.
Listen, I'm out of there. I would have been locked up. They'd have been like, yep, no, you told on yourself with this song and that, nope, you're done.
You could have been in the position that you're seeing a lot of.
Right, yeah, no. So there's a
honestly,
reason, right?
There's the flip side of that is from, and I will use music as an example, and honestly, even like going back to like the backyard wrestling bullshit. The problem for us is that we were always 5 to 10 years ahead of our time.
You are right.
Because honestly, if we were trying to do the music game right now, completely different story. There are so many distribution channels. There are so many like YouTube, all that. All of it is so much more prevalent in that space now. We are in we were 10 years ahead of our time, pretty much from high school on.
Are you inviting me?
Am I what?
Are you inviting me back to a competition? Because what's funny is I'm not a fool either. Ask me why.
Well, I mean, we're both fools, but why are you saying you're not a fool?
But I'm just saying, I think beyond my time. What was the name I went by?
OE, baby.
What was the full name?
C major?
No, the full name.
Oh, Old English.
Right. Right? And the number one reason why I gravitated to that name, other than it being a nickname for me drinking too much, but in an era where there were so many youngs and littles, Young Wayne, Lil Zane, all these, it was
still that's the case.
It was like, why would I want to be? I'll be old, right, and even. And it might sound like I'm boosting myself up, but even in that thought of me going as Old English, I was thinking, you may not make it young. You may be an old nigga. And you may have to go with old head old. You may be an old head old English. But if you go with Old English, you're never, the name doesn't die. You know what I mean? It doesn't play itself out.
That anytime we did any kind of games with 40s in college, I was always drinking Old English, and it was because of you.
That's good. Listen, that's what I'm saying, G. Listen, Aaron, you know what Aaron rocked with?
Aaron was King Cobra. We had King
all
Cobra,
of our
Old
names
English.
really came from what we drank.
No doubt.
Maybe because we drank it too much.
God, an OE is so awful. Like
horrible. I tried to drink. It doesn't translate.
It doesn't hold up.
You can't. Yeah, you can't go back. Yeah, no. Listen, I don't care if my mama's watching.
I'd be called Big Bud.
I don't care if my mama's watching.
Do they make Miller Lite 40 ounces? I could be Miller Lite.
Right. Give me I hate to say it. Give me some watery shit. Give me some natty.
Right.
Old English. They'd have been thinking I was from since a fucking natty. But listen, I was on that. I had a fake ID at 15. And facial hair. What's going on? I'm in the club.
There you go. Yeah, you're in the club getting me kicked out is what happened.
That was when I had club experience. And I was like, nigga, you ain't gonna play me. We'll shut this bitch off. And that wasn't even my fault. It was...
Yeah, it was
We don't speak on it.
Yes, it was Dwayne, right? Is that what we're calling him?
Dwayne Michael Carter. Jr.
All I know is the bouncer came over to me and said, your friend said you about to start some shit. I'm like, what?
First of all, you know that wouldn't be me that invoked that because you would never be the guy I pointed to. You know what I mean? Like, he'll do it.
Right.
You already know.
I'm the getaway driver.
Listen, right. I'm like, go to the car, bruh. I'm about to...
I feel like we were having a conversation. Oh, it was a conversation with your pops like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Well, of course we're gonna make Mike the front man. You gotta have the white boy in front.
What?
We were talking about what was that? That was the buying a house down in Myrtle Beach, wasn't it?
Right.
Buying a condo.
Right.
We all put in 20 grand. Mike's the front man.
Right. Listen, he already.
We'll have to get back on that conversation because I'm not opposed.
He already made some moves himself, so yeah, no, but that's definitely a conversation we should have in the future.
Oh man.
But
you got anything else? That was my inadvertent that kicked us off on that one.
I didn't inadvert as well.
Did you?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what we was even talking about.
Oh man.
What was the topic of a discussion?
So I think that all started off with the deja vu conversation. The Prescott vu.
Right.
That's how we got to all that.
I remember. Okay, and I said I had a situation.
Right.
Okay.
After I gave you my situation, we went into your situation, and yeah.
Oh yeah, I said that I had a similar situation.
Yes, sir. The other inadvertent thought I had was I was reading. I think I was flipping through. I don't know, either Twitter or Instagram or some shit. It was like one sentence story starters.
One sentence story starters?
Yes.
Like, so you say a sentence that starts a story?
Uh-huh.
Give me
See what happens with it. So the one I came up with was, because I saw it and I'm like, all right.
You came up with one.
I came up with one. And it was after seeing it, like, and honestly, I think it was a friend that was looking for inspiration for either writing or for music or for something. And the one I came up with for, just because I wanted to see your reaction when I said it, was, after knowing him for 35 years, I found out he was a cop. Mainly because I feel like every time I pull up to your spot, I feel like all your neighbors, like, this is the police coming through.
I told you that Amber came through one day. She ain't lived there in so long that the little niggas don't even know her no more. She came through the one day to knock on the door and they said, Hey, what you coming over here for? What you knocking on the door for? She said, I'm his brother. It's okay. I used to live here. It's all right.
And meanwhile, I feel like every time I pull up, like, the entire neighborhood looks at me.
Ain't nobody ever stopped or asked you that, huh?
No.
Right.
And meanwhile, they're like, "Oh, Big Mike, Light Mike got a new truck, didn't he?"
Listen, they know you, though. They know you.
I'm sure they do. That was my other inadvertent, though, was one sentence story starters.
That's the squad, though. Listen, that's the neighborhood. That's the issue, is that if white folks embrace that, and there's literally the issue in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you embrace the fact that the neighborhood will watch your back, if you embrace your neighborhood.
That was my whole thing living over on Wilson. This was the whole...
Right. It may not be your way.
The dude behind me and all the shit that I think went down at that house, Big O, part of the reason why I paid him money to cut my grass and all that shit...
Right.
Was that he would watch after the house, and anytime shit would go down, guess what? He would show up at my front door and be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that
he might not be able to stop it, but he'll tell you.
But he'll tell me what happened.
Nah,
right?
These little niggas are stopping. You know I bet they're stopping shit. Wait, what? Everybody got listen. The little young bucks got straps out there. They like, what happened?
The one on the left, when I pulled in multiple times on, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was, he kept looking at me.
Oh, well, that's the older. He's
a little bit older, yeah.
Yeah, they're older fit.
There wasn't a lot of the young ones out when I came by on Wednesday.
But they listen, that's all they do too.
I hear you. And I respect it and I appreciate it. I get it.
You just gotta be a real one, and I don't mean that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. Like, what does that mean? Just be stand up. You know what I mean? Like, if I see you need something, I got you. If you see I need something,
let me know.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. And if you do that, then most of the time you'll develop a circle without knowing you have a circle.
I mean, honestly, that's been. What's funny is that that's actually kind of where we've ended up with here. That's a good thing. Just from the fact that because our kids all play together. Like,
this is harder than that.
We all look at all of that. Like, we all keep an eye on shit.
And that's what what you're talking about here is harder than what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
See, what I'm talking about in my neighborhood could cost you your life.
Right.
But people if you move right, they understand.
Yeah.
Here, it's a completely different thing.
It is a complete guessing game.
It's liability. A lawyer can be involved.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. So it was...
That didn't work in my neighborhood.
It was probably 2 or 3 months ago, and so I've talked on the podcast before about how there are the 3 boys on this side of the block that all play together.
Right.
There's also a little girl that there are a set of girls actually on the other side.
The one that Andrew liked, or the one that...
Yes. So there are a set of girls on the other side of the block. One that is Andrew's age, 2 that are the little boy 2 doors down age. Actually, 3 that are the little boy 2 doors down age. So all ages from like kindergarten to 2nd grade. And the girls across the street made friends with people probably a block or 2 down, and they were all having fun, like playing tag or doing some shit in the neighborhood. And they ended up in someone's backyard, and the dogs were out. And the neighbor 2 doors down or 3 doors down has some big dogs.
Right.
That do not like little kids in their space if they don't know them.
Right.
And they nipped at one of them. And so these little girls from 3 blocks down or 4 blocks down or whatever the case was caught something. Basically, dog nipped at him, cut him open, and father came by like 6 hours later, 3 hours later, whatever the case was, and was like complaining about the shit. I'm like, you don't fucking know where your kid is? At that point, like, I'm sorry, that's not your responsibility. And guess what? Everybody around this person that had the dogs was like, nah, they fucked up. We saw what was going on. They decided to go into a backyard that they didn't know. But to your point, living in
Bexley.
Right.
That becomes a litigation conversation, not a your kid fucked up conversation.
It's almost kind of funny because people will watch it and let it happen around here. You know what I mean? Like, people will kind of be like, it's not my business. Right. Where in my neighborhood, they'd be like, hold on. Hey, get back from that, them dogs back there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anybody on the street would say that. Doesn't matter what color they are. We live with Mexicans, whites. Everybody's out there.
You're not wrong.
And nobody would let that happen if they saw that. You know what I mean? But the fact that this area is this area, it's almost like, don't step on toes, don't do anything.
There's a little bit of that. I'll agree with you on that front.
And that's the opposite of the hood. Is right. No, I'll step on every toe.
Right. You're not wrong.
There's something wrong here. Your dogs are out. I want them in.
Right.
And anybody will say that. So everybody keeps their dogs in.
Yep. No.
It's even to the point that all the dogs know the kids. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it honestly, that's what's interesting about this whole thing is that I do think that had it been just the 8 or 9 kids that live in the area,
right, it would
not have been a problem.
Right.
It was the fact that there was another group of kids that came in.
Well, that's black neighborhoods.
Right.
That's the black neighborhood aesthetic, the model right there.
Well, and honestly, even the white neighborhood aesthetic even the white neighborhood aesthetic, and you and I know this being not in the neighborhood of the school we were in.
I fucked up a lot of ecosystems.
We both. Let's face it.
Well,
guess what? Where did we go? Where did we go trick or treating? You and I, neither one of us lived in this neighborhood, but where did we both go?
Bexley.
That's fucking right.
Bexley. That's where all the friends were. Oh, y'all got good candy?
Y'all give out full fucking candy bars?
Shit.
Neither one of us knew nothing about that. Yeah, you got damn right about that. Bexley was every year. I used to be upset when I used to be like, you got to trick or treat in your neighborhood. What?
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. It was still some houses in my neighborhood that was giving out full candy bars, but it wasn't like Bexley, boy.
Right.
Bexley?
No, I'm with you. We used to.
And I got a mask on. You can't tell what color I am. I got 2 of them bitches. I got 2 of them Snickers in my shit.
So, just looking at the chat real quick, just because it's been a minute.
What up, Don?
Donovan letting people know that he broke his phone.
Oh, damn, Don.
And he's getting another one in a couple weeks. And then Uncle Dan chiming in with he'd love to stay longer, but the D&D podcast is doing a one-shot tonight, so he's blowing us off for that. So.
Well, I'm not mad. What is the D&D podcast?
Critical Role.
Oh, that's the one you've been telling me? Yeah. I need to get in it. God damn, I need to get in it. I'm glad you said that.
Well, what I will tell you is they're a week or 2 out from starting a new campaign.
Okay.
So if you want to get into it,
wait till the week.
Wait until they kick off the new campaign, and you can watch it from jump.
Yeah, let me know so.
I will. I'll let you know. All right. So with all of that, I don't know. What do you want to get into? You want to get into the E3 talk? You want to get into our topics for tonight? What are you thinking? I am going to text our potential guest to see if he's still planning on jumping on.
He ain't jumping on.
He's probably not.
What? Where we at?
We're about 45 minutes in.
Let's go. Let's go E3. Fuck it. Let's just jump in.
All right. So I've got a list of the E3, kind of the biggest announcements of E3.
Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna see if you got the right one on there.
Okay. So what are you going with?
Oh, I thought you was gonna give them to me.
Oh, I thought you just said I'm waiting to see if I got the right one on there.
Yeah, I said you give them to me, and I'm gonna let you know if you got the right one on there.
So there's one that honestly I'm not familiar with. It's at the top of the list on this article. It's called. It is. Actually, it doesn't say what format it's on. It is Elden Ring, and it is a Hideki
Miyazaki, George R.R. Martin collaboration. So
that's PC.
It's probably PC. And it is the Elden Ring, which honestly sounds right up my alley in terms of Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, also a little bit of Japanese RPG. Like, seems right up my alley.
Yeah, it does.
I am not familiar with that one, so I'm going to keep moving. But interested. Those are always on my radar. Elden Ring.
Well, I would be more interested in games like that on a new gen.
On a next gen. I agree with you on that. And honestly, I will tell you, like, I don't know if you check regularly. I do. Probably once every 1 or 2 months. Can I go out and buy an Xbox Series X?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and the answer is always no, no matter where the fuck I look.
Yeah, no, I could, but...
Is it a thing? Like, does it actually exist? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you mean trying to buy it? Like, it's still not available, you mean?
No. Like, I've looked on... So, the sites that I check regularly to decide... And not saying I would buy it right now, but, like, I check to see if it's available. Target, Best Buy, Amazon. None of those three have Xbox Series X available.
You know, you can't go into a store and buy it.
No.
You got to order it.
And pray that you get on some pre-order list.
Not even that. I know some places that you can order. That's what playing online with people get you. I know some places that you can order. You can get it in a couple of days.
Really? Well, you and I might have to talk after the show then. I'm not sure I'm ready to buy it yet because there's nothing that is launched that has been exclusive to that generation. And like we talked about probably 6 months ago, until there's stuff that's exclusive to that generation, I don't know that I want to buy it.
One person I could call right now, he's across the country, but it would be shipped tomorrow.
Okay.
If you probably get it in like 3 to 5, but yeah, no, you can get it. You can get it. My whole thing is I haven't even been interested in getting it. There's only one game on E3 that I'm interested in.
Well, let's see if we get to it.
That's why I was waiting on.
I hear you. So the one that I am most interested in that I'm not convinced is Series X exclusive yet is Starfield. Starfield is like the Skyrim of sci-fi. So it's basically taking the Skyrim engine and like gameplay and making it and making it like space oriented. So that's one that I'm super interested in. That is coming from
one you played all
Bethesda, Fallout.
Nah, it wasn't
Fallout, Skyrim, Mass Effect.
Mass
Effect just dropped the Legendary Edition.
One, yeah.
And I've been playing the shit. I just finished the first Mass Effect 1 on the Legendary Edition. I'm midway through Mass Effect 2.
For real?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I like those games if I play with someone. You know what I mean? Like, I won't play it by myself.
I hear you.
If somebody else is online and they like put on this.
Well, it's interesting. I think there are some coming up on the list that I'm interested in maybe you and I having that conversation.
Because that's how I was with, what's that one that everybody, it was like the new Halo.
Destiny.
Yep. That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
I had both of them. And I did play them, but it was only with somebody else online.
Yeah, I get you on Destiny in particular. Like if you weren't playing with somebody else,
it was just...
I played a fair amount of that on Destiny 1 with my buddy Jake, and then Destiny 2 I was hit or miss.
It wasn't that bad.
And Donovan, I see you out there in terms of your stuff not sending. I actually did get your email already, so Cliff and I will talk about that offline. You on your way,
bro. Listen, you on your way, bro. Only thing I would ask in return is tell all your little homies on your football team to like and subscribe.
No doubt.
And if they show love like you did, they'll get a pack too.
And honestly, we are looking at suppliers in terms of shirts and all that, and we'll make sure you get the top quality shit.
I already got some.
I
found something after you said that.
Oh, did you?
I kind of felt like, let me find something better than that.
My problem is everybody sees those ads for True Classic. I will put them up right now.
Yeah.
The True Classic tees. Guess what? If you look for a next level tee and you search for wholesale distributors, you can get the True Classic tees that they advertise on Facebook, all the shit on. You can get them for $4 a pop on other distributors.
Look at my fit. Look at these arms. Look at the arms on this fit.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, what you think this brand is?
What you got?
My favorite in the world.
Is it now the next level stuff, or what do you got? Is it Gildan?
Gildan, baby, but I found a new.
But you're smaller. You're smaller. Gildan.
No, they're in all sizes.
What I'm saying is you're smaller. They fit you differently.
No, these are the same ones that I was.
Oh, they were doing previously.
Yeah, I found a new. Okay, right, that's what I'm saying.
You and I will talk post. This is a post show conversation.
Yeah, baby, I found some noob joints.
Next up is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2, which I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan. It's actually the only reason I bought the Switch.
On Super Nintendo, I loved it. If it's going to be anything like that, I may be interested in that weird shit.
I tell you what, the Legend of Zelda on Switch has been good so far, and honestly, Switch has been good for.
I don't know about.
I have because I have a 6-year-old.
All right,
it is great for family games.
That's my daughter's shit. I don't know about that.
The next one up is Square's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like a real.
Yeah.
Like the real Guardian. Okay.
So going beyond Guardians of the Galaxy, I think the only game that has existed so far has been a Telltale game. Telltale is the point and click type shit, adventure games.
I still don't like what's his name.
Chris Pratt as Star-Lord.
I can't stand him for hitting Thanos right at the
punching him at the end.
It was like
you, and he's ruined everything. Right, that's the whole reason
why
the end game exists.
You're about to kill him. Your dumbass.
Where's Gamora?
Just fucking weird. Just a weird ass fucking character.
The next up is Ubisoft with a Avatar game.
I love Ubisoft.
Avatar, which looks like it might be Assassin's Creed-esque.
I might be interested.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. We'll see on that one. Smash Brothers doing a partnership with Tekken. Natural fit. That's fine.
Ooh.
Halo Infinite.
Wait. Okay. Like they're both gonna be in the same game, or like?
Just that there's a character that's being imported. So, what is it? Kazuya is being brought over as a DLC character for Smash Brothers.
Oh, okay, I see.
Halo Infinite, which I'm kind of
I don't know Halo.
There's a Mario and Rabbids sequel, which again, that's Nintendo Switch.
Who's
again, kind of
What's Rabbid? Who's Rabbid?
Rabbid is like these little rabbits that have shown up.
Like like the Wii game where you used to shoot them. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Let's see. Donovan, since you're asking, podcast schedule. So, Do Fools Agree. So, this show drops on Friday nights or Saturday mornings, depending on when we close. Hit the Showers is Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Until football, NFL.
Until football starts.
Tuesday, Saturday.
And then it'll be Tuesdays and Saturdays. And then the Mind and Body Understanding podcast, which is a little more adult or a little more calm. It's a little more about mental health and like counseling. That one drops 2 or 3 times a month, usually in the middle of the month. So moving on, Dishonored is dropping a vampire shooter called Redfall. That one looks interesting. Honestly, with Dishonored, honestly, Dishonored is pretty interesting in and of itself. It is one of those things that I think has gotten a lot of popularity over the years, but I also think that has been a little bit of a cult classic.
You'll see things like the Vampire and Vampire Masquerade pieces, but generally speaking, good what I would call action-adventure role-playing game type thing. Next up is Borderlands. So Borderlands, the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That is one that is getting a lot of press right now. Similar is Forza Horizon 5. I know that Cliff has been deep in the Forza game space, and we'll see if that's the one that he was missing. Next up is the Outer Worlds 2. So personally, Outer Worlds, Skyrim, Fallout, all that stuff, that is the stuff that I'm passionate about. I love playing those role-playing games, love playing those single-player games, etc. Shout out to Donovan for everything that he's doing right now, because we have gotten like 15 different subscribes over the last 5 minutes. So props to you, man. Appreciate it. Goddamn. Really do appreciate it. And honestly, with that kind of level of engagement, if this is something that, you know, your team is interested in, your team loves, Cliff and I will figure out a way to get you all shirts. Period.
That shirt. That's nothing. Don't worry about that, Donnie.
We will keep going. So
don't worry about that, Donnie Brasco.
Just to check, Cliff, I'm sure Redfall, which is the vampire shooter from the Dishonored devs, not on your list.
I don't mind vampire shit.
Okay. The other one was Borderlands and Tiny Tina.
No, I don't do Borderlands.
I get that too. Forza Horizon. I know you've been playing them racing games.
Shit, I do fuck with racing, but I don't know about Forza though. Okay. Forza's like
you're more
track-ish.
Need for Speed, or
yeah, I want to race. I want the cops to chase me. I want to be able to dip you off. You know what I mean? Forza's on a track. That seems a little boring to me. The only track racing game I liked was the motocross that they came out with. It was a while ago. It's probably like 3-4 years ago. Might even been more than that.
Okay. I hear you on that.
But you still ain't got to my game, which is going to be the best game of the year.
All right, so Outer Worlds 2 is the one that I might... between that and we'll get to it, that's one of my top 2 coming out of this list. Rainbow Six Extraction. So another Rainbow Six title.
I like Rainbow Six.
I honestly, that's one that I think, like,
are those shares? Are those Donnie Brasco shares?
These are all Donnie. These are all Donovan. What my assumption is at this point, he posted something and has gotten a ton of subscribers. I would actually bet that we are over 100 subscribers right now.
Donnie Brass. He already sent his info?
He did send his info, so we're going to have to take care of him.
Well, just know that out of all the subscribers that have popped off Donnie Brasco's post or whatever the case may be, just know that he's the Godfather.
Absolutely. He is an honorary fool.
Oh, he's been a showerhead. He's been a showerhead.
He's a showerhead. He's a fool. We're about to put him on the producer credit
But
list.
just know nothing goes through y'all without Donnie Brasco's okay. I'm just
Amen.
But
nah,
he's
fuck
Godfather right now. Thank him.
So beyond that, Sea of Thieves has Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that game. I heard that was good, the original.
I haven't played it at all. So Sea of Thieves is one of those games that when you buy an Xbox, they give you a free fucking download of it.
Really?
Yeah, and
I didn't get
Minecraft is the same way. Like Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and there's one other game that they're like, please join to play. Now that doesn't mean that you get like everything from it, but you get at least the initial download for free.
Right.
They are introducing
what?
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Savvy mate.
They said that was...
Where's the rum gone, Cliff?
I drank that shit. And if there's any more left, don't let me drive this boat, bitches. I'm crashing this bitch.
This has been an insane podcast from a subscriber perspective because we have seen Probably 30 new subscribers.
Don't doubt my shower heads.
So, yeah, no. Just to keep things going. The next one is Contraband, Just Cause.
Contraband.
I don't know anything about that one.
Familiar. I know that game.
Co-op, open
Sounds
world,
like it was
coming
a PC
exclusively
game.
to Xbox and PC.
Yeah, I think...
A smuggler's paradise set in the fictional world of 1970s Bayan.
Ooh, I might like that.
The next is the Microsoft Flight Simulator, which everybody loves. And the Game of the Year, Hades, is coming to both Xbox and PlayStation.
Nah, fuck all that. That's the Diablo remake.
Gotcha.
The God of War where they did it different with the Diablo. Yeah, I'm not on that. Well, I'm not saying
Xbox
I'm not
Game
on
Pass is also changing the game. And I don't know if you do Xbox Game Pass.
I don't.
But more and more is starting to come out day and date release with Xbox Game Pass. It might be the future of gaming.
Amber does. She does that, and that's what gets me feeling like I should get it. I usually just buy the games that she downloads from Game Pass, and I'm like, they're usually not that much anyway. I'll pay $20. Give me the game. I don't want to do your.
But there are some older games that they will have that were more expensive or still are expensive. I hear you on that.
My thing is, with that, it's just I don't know what game I like to play, and I don't know what game I don't. In the Xbox or the EA Pass, will take a game off of it. You know what I mean? Where you think you're playing the game, and it's like, oh, it's not on the it's not the Game Pass no more. Like I'm done. Like I didn't even beat it.
I don't know that I've run into that yet, but I hear you. I actually think that if I would have waited for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition to hit that,
well, yeah, that's when you know me. The only games I play on EA are sports games. So
I got you. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly,
unless it's old, it stays on. If it's new, they give it to you for a month and be like, "Well, buy it, motherfucker. You broke bitch."
And you know what I was disappointed about, and I get that they've said that it probably won't come out till 2023. I wanted to see an NCAA football announced.
Man, listen. But I knew it wasn't going to be as quick as everybody thought because you still got to pay them.
Right.
Like, now you have to pay them. So, every year, it's a new change, right? So, are you going to change the jersey numbers every year just to pay these kids?
Well, the flip side is, I honestly don't care. Like, yes, I think you should play these players. Having been a college football player, obviously. The flip side is you don't even need to pay them because if you just did generic shit and put their playbook in, that's all I want from this game.
You're right, but it doesn't matter though because it's right now. It's about ever since that Macaulay Culkin law passes, it's about likeness as well.
Yeah.
So even if you change the number, if you're giving them my likeness, I still need paid.
Right.
Because I've never known a 00 to rush at a quarterback at a 92 speed with an 80 tackle.
Right.
But because you're using my stats.
But the flip side of it is when it comes to the college football games, like, I don't care who the players are. The thing with the NCAA games was that I liked the gameplay better than I ever liked Madden. And I liked the idea of it was more
100%.
about the gameplay than it was the players, meaning I wanted to be able to run that option. I wanted to be able to especially like they did a better job with run pass option type shit than Madden has ever done.
You're correct.
And at the end
there
of
was
the day,
really no run game unless you hit the hole and went straight. You couldn't cut.
If you're talking about Madden, but if you're talking about NCAA,
you could get outside of a defender if you were fast enough.
Right. Absolutely. So I do want to hit up Donovan just real quick. He said my girlfriend asked me what I'm doing. I left her on red, so I don't have to. So I don't have her yelling at me for leaving her to watch a podcast. If she's yelling at you for watching this podcast, You're with the wrong girl, man.
Listen, y'all might want to watch it together, and I might get you some extra action on the side.
We might add some tips for you.
Listen, this ain't... Now, this one might not be that one, but trust and believe, you'll get some tips.
I'm going to run through a couple of just rapid fire. You stop me if you want to talk about them. Far Cry 6 and the DLC.
You know what? If I'm being honest,
do you play the Far Cry games?
I'm glad you said. I don't mean to stop you on the first one. I enjoy Far Cry. Far Cry is the same as what's the first game you said where I said I'll only play it if somebody else is online.
Was that? It wasn't Elden Ring. It was not Starfield. Not Zelda.
It was before all.
It was Avatar or Smash Brothers or Halo. Halo, I think, is where we got into that conversation. Or Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six. That was what it was. I'll only play a game like that if someone else is playing with me. I don't play the story mode of Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'm going straight to online.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I only want to play the story mode.
Online's the only thing that matters because killing computers doesn't mean anything to me. I want to know I'm killing someone that's trying.
You killing kids?
I'm killing kids. Y'all giving me opportunities to kill kids. I was about to say, I'm Jared from Subway on Adderall. You hear what I'm saying? I'm killing these kids.
All right.
You still got to my game. Best game of the year.
I don't know that I'm going to because there's only 2 or 3 left.
And you don't look at the games I look at.
Babylon's Fall, which I don't know anything about that. That's a PS5 exclusive.
The game that I'm thinking of is the most anticipated game of the year.
Diablo 2, Riders Republic, and Rocksmith. That's an Ubisoft thing. So, what were you thinking of?
ESBC? Esports Boxing Club?
Oh, no, I haven't. That one. And honestly, even the list that I'm looking at, there's one that I expected to be on here that wasn't either.
Well, they also said that ESBC, for the regular consoles, may not come out until January 2022.
Okay.
It was supposed to be December of 2021, but they pushed it back. But that game, they're trying to do like NBA 2K.
Okay.
Where they're doing tournaments, and if you win, if you win your tournament with your creative player, whoever, they're sending you out the belt.
Are they really?
Yeah, so if you win the WBC belt in the tournament, they'll send you that belt. If you win the IBF belt in the tournament, they send you that belt.
That's fucking sweet.
Like in the mail. Like you get paid, first of all. You get the cash prize.
Yeah.
Then they send you the belt as well. So you always have that. I said that's the really... there's never been a game that's done shit like that. You're in a tournament, a boxing tournament, and they send you the belts and pay you? Like a real fighter? But that's what they do
sweet.
with NBA 2K nowadays, so it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're the best, then I guess you deserve to be paid and get a belt.
Right.
But I think that's going to be the best game that comes out either this year or next year.
I hear you on that. And the one that I think is going to be the best game that hasn't been out or wasn't on this list was Fallout London. So Fallout is coming up with a new game.
Fallout's always the best game.
Yeah, it'll be up there.
Every year they come out.
This one isn't a Bethesda release. I think it's actually Obsidian, which is why I probably don't see it on this list.
Oh, they're moving on from...
No, so what I will say is the best Fallout game of all time was actually by Obsidian and not Bethesda.
Oh, really?
Fallout New Vegas was actually an Obsidian title. So what ends up happening is... What I bet happened is this is what happened with Fallout 3. So Fallout 3 was built by Bethesda Game Studios, and then Obsidian took that engine and built a new game off the same engine, and it was Fallout New Vegas. What I think happened here was Fallout 4 was built by Bethesda Game Studios, and Obsidian took the same game engine and built out
like,
Fallout London.
Hold up, yeah, keep it here. Right.
So I think that's exactly what happened. Right. I've seen previews for it or pieces like that. So I'm curious to see what it ends up being. But I'm actually with you on the boxing game. Like I think that's going to be a hot game. I don't know.
They have this ESBC game. I almost thought about doing like just a show on it by itself.
Yeah.
Because the people that have been doing these shows have gotten like tens of thousands of subscribers just talking about that game alone. And me, I'm thinking like, okay, our show, we talk about actual boxing. Why not incorporate or do a separate show
on esports and the boxing game?
Listen, they already have more than 150 licensed fighters in this game.
Do they?
150? You won't even go through. If you hold the stick down,
you won't even go.
It's gonna take you a good 3-4 minutes before you get through all the fighters. You feel what I'm saying? Like this is bigger than Fight Night. This is bigger than any boxing game that has ever been made, and it's not considered. This is what they say. The people that made it. It's not considered a game. It's considered a simulation.
Okay.
So that means if you have a decent boxing knowledge, if you've boxed before, you can control the game to a point that you couldn't in Fight Night.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? In Fight Night, it was arcadey. As much as people thought it was a real boxing game, it was arcadey. If you really know how to fight, though, you're telling me that I can exploit people that don't know?
Right.
Like with angles and all that?
I mean, honestly, that's always what I felt about the UFC games. And it's why I think when you and I used to play the UFC games, you used to get frustrated. Because what would I do?
They never had angles, though.
I would take you down and I would ground and pound.
And that's why they never had angles. If I could step to the side as you shot, that's a problem.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
And it was just like with Fight Night and with UFC, if you notice, the players are always equal to each other like a magnet.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you sidestep, the computer does it itself.
Same idea. Yeah.
This game does not. So if I sidestep and you don't sidestep with me, I'm at the side of you hitting the side of your head. Right. So you have to compete in order to. And that was my biggest issue with UFC, that it was like, god damn, like in Fight Night 2, it was like a magnet. Like if I step to the side, you're always gonna be equal to me. Why can't I go around you?
Yeah.
And hit you from the side because you can't keep up.
I hear you. All right, well keep going on Fight Night because I gotta pee.
Well, and
by the way, I had somebody hit me up about why Donovan was taking over the show from chat, and guess what? You can too. All you have to do is go over to the YouTube channel and jump in the chat.
Nigga, fuck you. Who was it, Uncle Dan?
Nah, I'm not even gonna tell you.
I'm just playing. Uncle Dan, fuck you. I know it was you. I'm just playing. Send some subscribers and shit. Nah, but Donovan's a showerhead, and he's welcome on both sides of the chat. He subscribed, my G, and we appreciate you more than you know. You'll see. But what were we talking about? Fight Night? Yeah, if I'm just talking myself, I don't think that Fight Night's going to be able to compete with ESBC by no way, means, or fashion. If we're adding a Mass Effect, like first-person shooter and all that shit into the books, if I'm being honest, ESBC wouldn't be able to compete because there's more... I don't want to be harsh, but there's more nerds that want to see aliens shoot than people that want to see people box against each other physically. And in my opinion, I'm not hating on nobody, but I'm just saying in my opinion, I think that comes from the fact of people never doing it before and not knowing what comes along with it or what it takes. And that's why I'm hoping that the game ends up being as good as it is, because if it's made the way they're saying it's made, that means that people that really know what they're doing will be able to exploit the ones that don't. And there hasn't been a game like that, in my opinion, in any console for years.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? I've never seen a game where it's like the more you know, the better you are.
I hear you on that.
No Call of Duty, no nothing. It's always the faster your fingers are, the better your positioning is. But never the more you know gives you an advantage. And I feel like this could be the game to, show us. I don't think they're going to hit it on the nub, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm sure they won't. But
I think they'll get close enough. Right, that next time they'll be like, oh, I got y'all next time.
Right.
Y'all enjoyed this? We'll wait till what I give you next time. And that's one thing that I don't think UFC has done.
Yeah.
Like sometimes UFC gets it right and then they move away from what they had to do something different. And it's like, well, you got it right the first time.
Right.
Why are you messing shit up?
I hear you on that.
So we'll see. But I do think already where they're at, it's already better than Fight Night. Period, point blank.
There you go.
And what I will say, and I need your help, Donovan, C-Mac.
C-Mac, poor C-Mac. C-Mac,
Yeah.
I think, was planning to join, and I don't know what happened.
Your motherfucking ass owed me $20 because my Raiders beat your Browns last year.
And that tells you how long it's been since C-Mac's been on the show.
Which lets you know I'm never betting with you again. If I gotta wait a year to get my money. But just know, Browns may be all right this year. Last year,
it's certainly what Brittany wants, and with all of that,
if you want to hear more on that front,
head over to Hit the Showers.
We'll be live tomorrow.
Or stay here on the YouTube channel and check out Hit the Showers tomorrow.
or spend the night. Let's have a sleepover. Y'all can stay on the same stream. Nah, it wouldn't be the same stream. But
all right, so hitting the chat real quick before we shift topics. I don't know if we'll get to. Well, we might still talk about high school sports, whether C-Mac joined us or not. So I don't remember if I said this. Donovan said he told her that he was doing homework this summer and that it's good. Is that a good excuse?
Donovan, don't stop your cranium.
And then Aaron is the one jumping in the chat saying it's me, meaning who was asking how she gets involved. And she's saying that she was a fan of Mario Kart.
Miss Aaron from Long Ways?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Miss Aaron from Long Ways, how do you do? I didn't know.
Donovan also said something about, we were talking about drugs. Donovan, at your age, there should be no discussion of drugs, especially if you got plans, man.
Right.
Don't
Let's
do
be
that
real.
shit.
Unless it's steroids and do it right. No, I'm just playing.
I kid.
I'm only kidding. Another Quaalude.
I was only kidding.
She loved me in the morning.
She love me in the morning. And if you don't know that movie, Donovan, go watch Scarface immediately.
Right. No doubt.
But yeah, no drugs. Who's talking drugs?
I mean...
Listen, the only drugs you'll ever hear me talk is marijuana, and that's facts, Jack.
True.
So, I don't know. I'm not going. I might have, but no, I would never encourage anybody to take no drugs unless, and I'm going to say unless, and this is 100.
100.
Unless that's that edge you need to get you over the top to what people expected of you. And what I mean by that is a lot of people get draft opportunities that aren't quite ready for them, that get pushed into situations like that. And I'm just saying, I'm not gonna judge you if you did do that, but do it right.
Well, and I think what you see is common, and honestly what riddled baseball.
Right.
10 years ago.
I'm so
was
glad
not necessarily steroids. It was HGH.
I'm so glad.
And honestly,
you said
HGH has been used to fucking.
But that's older folks.
It's
right.
recovery.
That's
It's not build.
That's not for them.
Yeah.
That's more so for us. But once again, Donovan, I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything. I'm just saying, if you can pull it off. And you have time available, listen. But that's also beyond where you're at anyway. You're nowhere near there.
No.
You'll understand that once you get to college.
Right.
That's
I actually do not support any of that until start looking at college.
Right. And he said it correct too. Until you figure it out, right? And even when you figure it out, that's not the best thing to do.
And all I will say is, having been part of even Division III NCAA playoffs, the first thing they do is take your top 3 players off the field and drug test them.
Right. So that's never the way to go. But all I'm saying is, it's a lot of people doing more. That's all I'll say.
All right. So with all that, I'm going to hit the chat just real quick. Aaron chiming in with she likes Mario Kart. Me too. That's a good Nintendo Switch game.
Listen.
Donovan chiming in with if we have a sleepover, we would see the stuff we don't want to see.
As far as what? Wait, give me something.
We'll see what he comes back with.
I think I have an idea of what he's saying.
Aaron also chimed in with, no, that's a bad idea, a bad excuse. And I'm glad you remember me. I think that was directed towards you. So
what the fuck, Joe? That's my people. I remember you. But
Jeff doesn't forget anybody.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't forget. I forget names. Never forget faces and
especially nobody that was important to me, right?
Right. Well, I mean, regardless, like we were both in class together, right? Like, so I wouldn't just be like, "Oh, that was Mike's people," and forget about it. But it's not. She's absolutely correct. It's not a good excuse. But if you're gonna,
right.
But if you're gonna. Be responsible.
So I do have a question for you, and it's more because I brought it up during the week, and I said at least put it on the background to see if you really do hate it. And I don't know that you did.
Oh, the shit. No.
In the Heights.
No.
What do you got to say about In the Heights? So In the Heights is kind of taking the nation by storm. It is Lin-Manuel Miranda's musical that was apparently on Broadway before Hamilton.
Yeah,
and it's what got him Hamilton.
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
It's what got him Hamilton, and it just dropped on HBO Max.
I hated it.
Did you really?
I hated it.
You're a hater.
I hated it.
Tell me why.
The first little spot, like, you know, with the homie that ran the
shit. Bodega.
Like, he did a little something. It was still, like, very cringy to me.
Was it really?
It was the whole shit was cringy to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that hurts my soul.
You know what? I'm gonna lose points for this, for a lot of people that know me, but I have no problem being a buck.
Right.
The only musical I ever loved, Hairspray.
Ooh!
Loved Hairspray.
I don't know if I know Hairspray well enough
to Queen Latifah and John Travolta and all them.
Yeah.
Loved Hairspray. I didn't like that John Travolta was dressed as the big bitch. I did not like that. Didn't bother me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it didn't make me feel a certain kind of way. But that just something was off with that. But Hairspray was the only music. Didn't even like Carmen with
Beyonce and that whole.
Hated that.
Did you really? See, and this is where you and I will never agree on this shit. There is something about music that tells a story that
and I get that from
speaks
you.
to me.
I get that from you.
That just speaks to me, and
I get that,
especially when it is hip hop that tells the story.
And I'm not like looking at that like as a down like.
No, but let me
I get
put
that from you.
Let me put it to you this way. In my mind,
right,
when you and I were growing up, you had, I mean, honestly, probably close to 100 songs that we've recorded either with me or with someone else that
right,
we've seen all that shit.
Right, I would agree.
There are probably a dozen that I feel like I could put together and I could make a movie out of that shit. Between Step Into My Office, Overdrive, The Setup, Love My Homie, like there are like 10 to 12 songs that you have produced
when we get there.
That if that had been put together into a movie, I'm like, this is a story in and of itself.
Like
and I think that
Kelly,
that is
Trapped in
yeah, exactly.
Closet,
Like Trapped in the Closet, like Carmen, like any of that Hamilton, all that shit. I think that that's where I struggle, is that I'm like, and for whatever reason, music like that has always spoke to me. Like there are country songs that are like.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
And no, continue what you're saying though.
So there are like country songs like Whiskey Lullaby that are basically he put that bottle to his head and he pulled the trigger is the lyric for the hook on that one.
Right.
There are songs like Julianne Moore. She does this that song in my head all day, and it is basically like something about that blue-eyed boy in the back of a Chevrolet. That song's been in my head all day. Like songs like that, songs that paint a picture and tell a story, for whatever reason, really resonate with me. And those are the songs that, whether it's country, whether it's rap, whether it's R&B, whether it's rock, that shit speaks to me. And there are songs that you have done in terms of, and we've talked about this recently. Like I sent you the links, or the link back to Love My Homies and Shorty Is You, right? Songs like that, I'm like, dude, we could tell a story with these 12 songs and the entire album. This could be a movie or an album. Either way.
Let's do it.
But that's my whole point, is that...
But my whole thing is...
And that was the whole thing within the Heights, is that...
It's funny that you... And before you get there...
Go ahead.
It's funny that you say that, because that's the exact opposite of what I feel.
Say more.
I hate a song that tells a story.
Okay.
I hate King Von, A Crazy Story. I hate all of those songs that are trying to tell me what happened in a situation. That bothers me so much. I don't know what it is about it, but it's like, if I was going to tell us, first of all, I can't tell any stories.
Okay.
Right? Out of all my music that I've written, that's fiction, non-fiction. You feel what I'm saying? But I can never rap like non-fiction, because that incriminates myself as well as everyone else around me. So when it comes to an actual story, I can't make up a story.
Yeah.
I can't make up comedy. You know what I mean? Like, if it didn't happen to me specifically, I can't tell you a joke. I can't do that. Like, I could do it. I could make something up that'd be real funny to you at the moment. But I feel like that's dumb. Like, that's dumb. You're just feeding them shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not giving them real. You're just feeding them.
Right.
And I can feed you all day.
I get it.
I guess this podcast is just feeding you all day, and maybe I should feed you more, but I'd rather feed you truth than feed you lies.
But what I will say on that front is that the podcast is all about real, right? Like since day one of Do Fools Agree, it was here's our real, honest opinion on shit,
right?
And the whole principle behind the show has been we want to invite you into, like, if Cliff and I were getting together at happy hour on a Friday night,
right?
This is the exact conversation you would
and
get.
And please disagree. That goes to you as well, Donovan, as well as all of the subscribers that you brought in. Please disagree if you feel opposite. I want to hear opposite angles.
Right.
But that's also the reason why I would never give you fiction.
I don't disagree
because
with
I
that.
can't get your honest angle if I'm giving you a fake story.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to give you the real. I cut my hand because I was tossing knives.
Right. Hatchets, actually.
Right. Hatchets, actually. I'm 35 years old and I'm a hatchet tosser. And I'll cut my hand open. Not only will I cut my hand open, but I'm the kind of guy that will squeeze all the blood out of it just to see
what's happening.
Right. Get a good picture of this blood coming out of this hand. I'm weird like that. I don't know, but I'm still here.
I hear you. I think when it comes to something like In the Heights, because it is the expectation is that when it dropped on HBO Max, it will be a cultural phenomenon. And the fact that it is an older musical that honestly hadn't had that kind of representation.
You know, I heard about it though.
Yeah, what do you got?
I heard it did so bad because there weren't enough Afro-Latinas in it.
I've seen the same feedback
I agree,
in terms
though,
of they did not. So the problem with the Latinx community.
Well, see, wait.
In representation.
What
do you got? What do you got? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now I want you to keep your thought. But I don't. The only reason why I felt a need to rebut when you said that is when you said the Latinx.
Because we've had that conversation before too.
Right, as well. Right, you are correct. But my whole thing is the biggest misconception about black people is that they're only black. They're only African American.
I heard.
There are no black Puerto Ricans. There are no black Mexicans.
They're actually black in a lot of different societies.
There's
so
black
I hear you on
in
that.
everything. So when you see something like In the Heights movie and it doesn't represent the actual neighborhood that you're in.
So you don't like the fact that like Corey Hawkins is the only black actor in the Heights.
But why though?
Don't disagree with you.
You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. There's black.
And honestly, I'm looking at my wife and I'm like,
there's
Corey
black
Hawkins played
Latinos.
Dr. Dre in NWA.
Yes, and I'm not even talking about him specifically, but there's blacker Latinos than that.
I agree with that.
So why are we showing this black guy here like there's not
that
black
is actually
folks?
what I will say is that is actually a big problem in Latino representation in general. Is that generally speaking, it is the white looking Latinos that get represented.
And you know what? And you know my issue is that, and I've said this from the jump. I hate when people see black folks and they say African American.
Yeah.
Why can't he be African Caribbean or African Hispanic or there's so many black people in this world that you cannot say.
Well, especially when you're talking about the DR and you're talking about Puerto Rico and all that shit. Like,
there's more black people in the Dominican Republic than there are light-skinned Hispanics.
We've talked about a certain friend of ours that is in the chat tonight.
Who? My guy?
No, we talked about Aaron tonight. There's also another friend of ours that is very big into the Latin and Latin black community.
Word.
Yes. Who lives in New York and is only really interested in dark-skinned or black Latin America.
Because let's be honest. Let's be a buck. That's Latin America.
Yeah.
Latin America does not exist without black being involved.
I hear you.
Anywhere. In Puerto Rico, from the transatlantic slave trade.
Yep.
Anywhere that you think of. Even in Mexico, when it came down to the blacks that fled the South to go to Mexico and the Mexicans that fought the whites to keep the blacks there. That means that there's black in your blood.
Completely agree. Completely agree.
Anyone living now in Hispanic or whatever, black in your blood. So when I see shit like In the Heights and it's only portraying, I feel like that's the same Aryan. It's the same as anti-Semitism. You know what?
I hear what you're saying. Anti-Semitism. I
Right,
think
that.
the only thing that I would, it's not even argue because I don't disagree.
I understand what you're
with
saying.
representation
Speak
in
freely,
Heights.
my guy.
I think my thing is that there is only really one character in that movie where I question whether or not she's white.
Who?
It is Vanessa.
The one
basically
from the,
white girl from the hairdresser that is doing all the.
She wasn't white though. That's the chick
I
from
understand.
Orange Is the New Black. She
no,
would get,
she. I understand what you're saying. That's not who I'm talking about. The one who Usnavi is in love with.
Are you talking about the girl from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Is she in Brooklyn? I don't.
No,
think
the
she is.
Navi. That's the dude from the.
He's from Hamilton too.
Right from the corner store.
Right. Yes.
The chick that came with the red hair. At the
No,
beginning.
she is from. No, I'm talking about the other. She is the
You're
one.
talking about the skinny one that
Yes.
they were like ask
And
her out.
honestly, I had to look her up because I'm like,
She
who
ain't
is
African-Latina,
who is?
though.
No, she is the least.
Right. She's not
She's the least Latino looking one of them, but she's the only one that her only film credits up until that point. Because I thought I recognized her from something else because she's got kind of a Eliza Dushku look to her.
No, I don't know. I'm not that good at.
Not Eliza Dushku. Fuck. Eliza Dushku is.
You could name names. I wouldn't know.
She looks like someone else, but what I will say is the only film credits she has are from Latin America, like soap opera type shit.
Right.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the one that is
The
from
thick one.
exactly from
yeah.
Orange Is the New Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one that got pregnant by the one that was.
And don't get me wrong, I like her too.
Man.
And all she does in the movie though is she
Oh.
just bounces her tits.
Man, she got more than that.
But the white looking
something.
one is the only one that I was like, I had to look her up because I was like, is she really Latina or whatever? And honestly, her only film credits are from Mexican television.
I thought you were talking about the oranges and the tall.
I know who you're talking
I love
about.
her too.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Nobody at all, but I love her to death. I will wife her.
No doubt.
Listen.
But anyway, so I think my thing with that movie is that like I hear the feedback on it around there's not enough dark skinned Latin feedback on it, but or representation in it, but
I don't care.
Everybody but that girl looks
Listen,
Mexican.
Let me put my
Or
hand
looks
up.
Hispanic.
I don't give a fuck regardless.
Okay.
You hear what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't care. That wouldn't be a reason to stop me from watching the movie or show. What stopped me from watching the movie or show was the singing.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to be a buck. I don't know why every musical has to sound white. You think it didn't? Do you think that one didn't? Like all the
no, we're in the heights. Oh, we're in the heights.
It was like what the.
What I will say is, I don't know. I agree with what you're saying.
I don't like it.
Overall, I can see what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree with.
Only musical I've ever heard in my life that did not sound white, like the background in the is Carmen.
Okay.
And that was because it was recorded singular. You know what I mean? Like Mos Def and Beyonce. It was almost like a duet, but they did it in a musical form.
I hear what you're saying.
When I hear a musical and it sounds like harmonizing white folks, it's like,
that's my problem though with what you're saying there.
Is
like
it
I don't
the Beast
necessarily,
or is it the Heights?
I don't know that I necessarily. There are definitely songs where I agree with you.
Just because
I don't know that I agree with you for all of it though.
Just because you rap doesn't make it
fair
urban.
Point, fair point. I'm trying to think, like, because I've been listening to the soundtrack a fair amount lately, and it's made me think of looking at you, Ashley, New York. It's made me think of her a lot. There are definitely points where I agree with you, but there's a fair amount of that overall score and soundtrack where I don't.
And I'll also be fair. I only watched half of it.
Okay.
After about an hour, I was like, I don't know if I can do it.
Okay.
You know what I switched to though?
What'd you switch to?
Black Summer. You seen that on Netflix?
What's Black Summer?
It's a zombie show.
Oh, is it?
Way better than Walking Dead.
So is it Walking Dead-esque or is all right? So I don't know Black Summer.
No similarities.
If I were to watch one of two things.
Okay, give me.
If I were to watch Army of the Dead or Black Summer, which should I watch?
Black Summer.
Okay.
Black Summer's real. Like it's real. Like it's like real. Like how a zombie apocalypse really would be. You know what I mean? Like okay, so perfect example I can give is motherfuckers will get a car.
Okay.
Of course, people don't have gas.
Right.
So when the people around hear a car, they flock like the zombies.
Gotcha.
Like, who's got the car?
Who's driving?
Let me in. Please let me in.
Yes.
The females are in the door like, let me in. I'll suck your dick. I'll do anything. Let me in your car.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna suck my dick.
But what I'm saying is, it's like that's you would hear dudes saying that
right
in the zombie let me in. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Let me in. You know what I mean? And the people are like, you're no help to me. So
right.
I'm out. You know what I mean? It was a scene in the show where a dude was being chased by a zombie up a hill, but it was in the winter, so the hill was snowy. So he was sliding down the hill as the zombies running up after him. So he's trying to keep his feet right as he's running. Makes it all the way to a house. The zombie gets caught in the barbed wire trying to grab him. Person in the house shoots the zombie. Dude turns around and says, thank you so very much. Thank you. Shoots him in the head too.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, I'm not playing with none of y'all. Why did you even wander on my side of the...
Right.
It was a scene in the show where a pregnant chick was in the middle of the road, stopping the dude's car from going, and the dude was looking at her like, I know I shouldn't let her in. He lets her in. She hugs him like, thank you. Slides his side of the car knob up. Dude opens the door, shoots him in the head. Hopped in the car, tried to drive off. They crash it.
See, this is why
he turns into a zombie and chases them both down.
This is why, when this shit goes down, my first call is you and Carl, and meet me here, and then we're driving to the island.
I don't care where we drive to. I just hope we don't get caught in no big, one of them big joints.
Right.
Like where the whole city's a zombie running
out. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
no.
I can't. Listen, I don't got enough bullets for that now, and my knives aren't that big, so... And I'm not that accurate with the throw. Once these bullets run out, we all getting chewed up. So let's have a ball.
Oh, man. All right, so the last topic that we had for the evening, and you can tell me whether or not we want to skip it because our guest never joined us tonight. He said that he got caught up watching Loki with his wife, which I'm not gonna argue.
I like Loki. I mean, I don't know. I've never watched the show. I just like him.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? He kind of reminds me
the
of my
last
little
topic
brother.
that was at least on the docket for the evening, though, was high school sports. And you and I talked about it a little bit before the show in terms of, like, things we wish we had known.
Right.
I don't know if we want to go on that topic or if you got something else you want to talk about and we can save that for
I would like to
another
go
night.
on that topic, especially if we got Donovan and
So what I will
people.
say is Donovan chiming in the chat said, my nickname in school is Big Crip because I act like a crip at school, but I show my real emotions when playing sports at school.
Uh-oh.
So I get in trouble a lot because I cuss when I get mad.
But
That's not, in my mind, like,
yeah,
I hate to break it to you, Donovan.
But I mean, I don't feel like you should be getting in trouble for cussing when you're mad on the field.
Yeah.
Not like in home or like regular. But if you're on the field, I don't feel like you should be getting in trouble for that.
So what I will say as a coach is it depends on the audience. If you are cussing when you get off the field, that's one thing. If you are cussing at an official, that's another thing. What I will say as a high school coach,
I agree.
what I have told my players is you treat officials like you treat the police. You don't say shit.
No,
you walk
fuck
away,
the police.
you get off the field.
You treat the officials like you treat your grandparents.
Okay.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Okay.
Well, and I honestly, not being black.
Fuck the police.
Not being black, what I would say to players is, no, sir, yes, sir. Try to find a way to get off or get away from that.
Well, maybe coaching at Whitehall, you might want to adjust that.
Fair enough.
Grandparents, not even parents. Yeah. As you know, parents don't do shit now.
Well, what I will say is, especially even walking off the field, last night, there was a set of parents that was.
I love seeing active parents.
I don't want to say it was chirping at this kid, but like the way they were talking to him, I'm like,
were they his kid?
And that's where I'm not sure. I think it was his mom and stepdad.
Listen,
and stepdad was the one yelling at the kid,
Mike,
like, it's time to fucking go. And
that might be your job.
I almost
to say,
inserted myself,
right.
but I didn't know the situation well enough to do so.
That might be your job to say, this is my child right now.
Right.
Or until this practice is over, I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up.
And when I say this practice is over, he's yours.
Right.
And
some kids
the good thing is that practice was wrapped up when I heard this back and forth. I will tell you, the way that this parent was talking to, I think it's a stepfather situation. I almost inserted myself. It wasn't quite bad enough that I needed to, but it was getting close.
I'm gonna need you to insert yourself next time.
I hear you. I don't disagree with you.
And if it goes beyond that, I'm gonna need you to call me.
And honestly, this dude was a skinny fucking dude.
Don't matter.
I'm
gonna need you to call me.
Dude looked like he was
fucking babies alone before I give you a fucking.
I hear you. And honestly, this was a weirdly enough,
it's not your child.
Weirdly enough, in Whitehall, was a white kid and a white, I think, stepfather, which I am much more comfortable stepping in on than probably a black family and a black stepfather.
They need it too.
Transparently.
They need it too. Call me.
But the way the either, and I'm pretty sure it was a stepfather because I don't think it was a dad, based on watching the interaction between the mom and the dad.
Right.
I was at the point where I'm like, had that gone any deeper,
listen,
I would have stepped in. But however, I didn't think it crossed any. You
better than me. I'd have been like, your pussy ass ain't even developed no child to be out on this field. Right. So shut the fuck up and let me coach this child. And you sit your skinny non-developing child ass down and cheer like you were built to do.
Right.
Bitch.
You're not wrong. And like I said, had I felt it had gotten to that point, I would have had no problem stepping in. Because I've done it before.
I know. I know you, baby.
And honestly, I've also been in a situation where I've had to carry a kid off the field before. So I've seen both sides.
When the situation escalates,
I understand.
That's what
you are for. Honestly, from where I'm coaching, you're 6 blocks away. You're my first call.
That's what I'm here for. And I'll bring the neighborhood with me.
Right, and I ain't worried about it.
And them is 9-year-olds with guns. No, I'm just playing. Kind of.
So did we talk about that on the show, or was that pre-show? I feel like that was pre-show.
Talked about that pre-show.
So Cliff and I, before the show, were talking a little bit about when I roll up to his spot, whether or not who recognizes me and who's like, oh, who's this white dude rolling into Cliff's spot? God damn it. Because my initial concern is always
that's not even white dude.
The entire neighborhood thinks I'm a cop rolling up into Cliff's spot.
No, you're not right about that.
Especially with the all black SUV these days.
They know you right now, bro.
They're like, oh, Big Mike did Light Mike get a new car?
I told you somebody asked me that.
Did they?
They didn't know your name, but they was like, the white dude that would always be over at your house. He got
a new car?
I said, yes.
Especially because what I got was an all-black Explorer, which is straight out cop material.
It's the police car, just in black.
But that's honestly... Let's be clear.
Yeah, no, that's a good move.
It's not. Well, one, it's a good move for me because nobody pulls me over. Two,
nobody pulls you over anywhere with your white.
Not when I'm by myself, but
right. You are right.
The flip side is that with the all black Explorer, I will tell you. You know what drives me crazy driving that car?
What?
People slow down in front of me all the time.
That's how I was with my Crown Vic.
With the Crown Vic?
Yeah. I know the feeling.
It is what it is at that point.
You just want to speed by him and be like, yeah,
right.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
Fuck
yep,
you, fuck you,
you
fuck
right
you, fuck
there,
you.
fingers.
Fuck you, you're cool,
dumb.
fuck you.
Next time, learn a fucking cop car, bitch.
But I have noticed that, especially driving through Whitehall, is that people slow down in front of me all the time and it drives me fucking crazy.
Bexley, they be like, I wish a motherfucker would. I wish this bitch would pull me over.
But meanwhile,
I'm a fucking lawyer. He lives 2 blocks away.
Driving through Whitehall,
and he's Jewish.
I will say straight up, Whitehall PD, their quote, I don't know that they're undercover, but Whitehall PD has black SUVs that are my car.
Oh yeah. And
so people slow down in front of me. And the worst is when a Whitehall cop pulls up behind me when I'm
right on
the Whitehall looking PD car.
I'm right on the edge, so I get Whitehall, Bexley, and
you get everybody.
Columbus.
You get everybody.
Listen.
You're not wrong.
They just don't ride through my street. They have been lately, though. I will be honest. The police have been riding through lately. But that's also because it's been a little hot lately.
Y'all had some shit lately?
There's been a couple of shootings. Not like shootings, but you know, like neighborhood shit, like people shooting in the air, like about to get in a fight type shit. Like,
gotcha.
Nothing that really makes anybody nervous, but it's like if you don't know what's going on in that area, then I can understand why you call the police.
Well, and that's honestly like my thing. Like having moved from Wilson Ave to where I'm at now, I don't hear as much.
I'll say honestly, I could say honestly, 60% of the people in my neighborhood are soft.
Yeah.
And that might seem like a small, like compared to 40, but the 40 that aren't soft are level-headed. You know what I mean? Like, they're not on bullshit unless you're causing bullshit here. So, my neighborhood's lovely.
I hear you.
It's like a ghetto suburb.
I mean, and honestly, it's not that far off.
Yeah, it's like a ghetto suburb. If you know everybody there, you have no problems there. White, black, or indifferent.
There is a question from the chat.
Yep.
Whether or not that's a weed pen.
No, this is nicotine.
Yeah, me too.
This is 1.8 nicotine.
And
I do have a
mine's
weed pen.
0.3.
Yeah, I do have a weed pen though, but I didn't bring it here because I don't like the, I'm in.
That'll be tomorrow night when Cliff and I are not on camera.
Right, when I'm
after the Hit the Showers show.
Right, well, no, it'll be on the show as well, but that'll be at my own house, and then I'll be back here where no one will be able to see anything that goes on. But nah, I'm not.
I wish there was a fight going on tomorrow night. We get that shit going.
It got canceled.
I know.
Dude got COVID, so now it's August. August has a fight every
week.
Every weekend.
Might have to figure out at least one.
Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, Teofimo Lopez, George Cambrosos, and Holyfield.
Okay.
Who's he fighting?
Who's Holyfield fighting?
The Triller. It's a Triller fight though.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Because he wanted Mike Tyson, of course.
Right.
But he ended up signing with somebody else. And then Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley fights.
I know that Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley.
It's one every weekend of August. I know that for a fact, but I just can't think of all of them.
Well, we'll have to figure that.
We're gonna go over them in the Hit the Showers podcast. I'm just not prepared yet.
There you go. And we'll do that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hit the Showers. You can check us out on the Foolproof Entertainment Network YouTube page. Hit the Showers. If you like what you're hearing here, like, share, subscribe.
Don, you family now. Don't even worry about that.
There you go. Don got us to probably 90 subscribers tonight.
He family.
Close to that. And Don, we saw, we got your email, like we said earlier. You got some shirts coming in the mail in the next week or so.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Outside of that, I don't know, man. We're at about 2 hours. What do you got? Anything to close this out? Anything you want to talk about before we close out?
Love everybody until they give you a reason not to.
Amen.
And hurt them or love them some more, depending on whichever they deserve.
And there you go. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings. Do us a favor, like, share, subscribe. If you are looking for the podcast version, head over to Apple Podcasts, search for Foolproof Entertainment Network, and you will find all 3 shows, whether that's Hit the Showers, Mind and Body Understanding, or Do Fools Agree. What do you got, Cliff?
Listen, if Don gets some more subscribers, we might have to give him an honorary host spot to come on the show.
Okay, I'm down with that. So, Donovan, if we get to 100 subscribers specifically from you, we will either invite you over to the Do Fools Agree show or the Hit the Shower show.
He going sports with us.
Okay. Well, Cliff is inviting you on to the Hit the Showers podcast.
You already got your pack. I got a pack coming for you. You got his shit?
Absolutely.
You got a pack coming for you, but you get some more subscribers than you on the show, bro.
There you go. You get us to 100, and we will close it out on that note. If anybody wants to join us on the show after the show, you've got the information right there for the Zoom information.
I still don't know the email.
Foolproofentertainment@gmail.com is the email address. If you are watching the podcast, the information there on the Zoom. If you want to join us for the after show, feel free to hop on there and we'll hit you up. Otherwise, appreciate all y'all. What do you got before I close out?
Put the after show up, dude. Don got the after show. Tell him to hop on. Let's see his face and shit.
I mean, Donovan, if you're still there, the login information for the after show is there, but hit us up. Otherwise, we love y'all. Take it easy. Peace out, folks.
And love your mothers.
Amen. She never closes over as quick as you wanted to, does it?
Always good.